Hello everyone, in this video I'll discuss about hierarchical queries in Oracle SQL. So let's start. Hierarchical queries in Oracle are used to retrieve the data that is organized in a hierarchical structure such as parent-child relationships. So an example would be a company's organizational structure. Now see what are the key components of hierarchical queries. So first we have start with clause that specifies the root node of the hierarchy. Then we have connect by clause which defines the parent-child relationships. Then we have prior clause which refers to the parent row in the hierarchy. We have level pseudo column which indicates the depth of a row in the hierarchy. And last we have sysconnect by path function that generates a string showing the path from the root node to the current row. Now we'll see one example of hierarchical dataset and we'll write a query to find the hierarchy. So this is our dataset where we have employee ID, employee name and manager ID, and the hierarchy starts with Harry whose manager ID is null. If we see Peter and George, their manager ID is 101, that is Harry. Again for Carol and Jane, the manager ID is 103, that is George. For Tom and Bruce, the manager ID is 104, which is Carol. So this is our dataset of hierarchy. Now we have to display the hierarchy for each row and the label as well. So let's see our expected output. So this is the expected output. Now in this output, if we see any of the row, like let's say for 106 Tom. So for Tom, the manager is Carol. Again, the Carol's manager is George and George manager is Harry. So we have to display the output like Harry, then George, then Carol, then Tom. And this is applicable for each and every row in the dataset. Also, we have to display the label. So in the label, we have to display the depth of the hierarchy. Like for the sixth row, the depth is 4. So that is why the label will be 4. Now I'll write the query to find the hierarchy of all the employees from the employee table. So this is our employee table where we have employee ID, employee name and manager ID. Now let's run this query. So we can see this is our input data set that we have just seen, and from this dataset we have to connect the manager ID with the employee ID of the parent row to establish a parent-child relationship to find the hierarchy of all the employees. So for this I'll write the connect by that will use to establish the parent-child relationship, and I will use prior emp ID equal to manager ID. So it will match the manager ID with the employee ID of the parent row. And we have to start with some employee to find the hierarchy. So for that, we have to write start with. Now for our case, I will write manager ID is null because I want to start with Harry where the manager ID is null. In your case, you can start with any particular employee. And we have to display the hierarchy. For that, I will write sys connect by path, and here we'll pass the parameter as emp name, and a separator. For that, I will use the arrow. So basically, this arrow will be in between two employee in the hierarchy, and I'll put this column name as hierarchy. I'll also add a pseudo column that will be label, which will provide us the depth of each hierarchy. Now I'll run this query. So you can see in the hierarchy column, we can see the hierarchy of all the rows, and also in the label column, we can see the depth of the each hierarchy.